Thanks a lot, guys, for all coming today. Welcome to the DSTHD podcast. Today, we got some special guests around the Texas hockey community. We'll talk about the Team Texas Selects. Again, like I said, we have some of the brightest minds and hockey minds around Texas. I'll just kind of go around the room here and introduce everyone. Adam, can you go first?
Yeah, my name's Adam Powell. I've been in Austin, Texas for the past 5 years now. I handle the Texas Junior Stars travel program and really anything else that the Austin hockey community needs. Originally from Fairbanks, Alaska, grew up playing youth hockey there, then wandered to the BCHL for 3 years and then went back and played collegiate in Alaska Fairbanks, and then played some pro hockey actually against Donnie in the old CHL. And then
I don't know if he played much, but he did have a number.
Leave it at that. But yeah, after moved back to Alaska after my pro days and had some of my own kids, and we decided to move back to Texas to be closer to family. And I'm excited about the Team Texas, mainly just talking with Mike, having that community feel within all of Texas hockey, I think is huge. Being somebody who's been in kind of a smaller market, to be able to work side by side with other communities, learn what they're doing, how they're doing it, what works, what doesn't. I think it's a great opportunity. And then even looking at the people who have applied, some of the players, just seeing all the associations represented. And I think it's going to be a great thing. I'm super excited for it.
Awesome. Who's next?
Mitty.
Jeff Smith from Regina, Saskatchewan. Moved down here to Texas about 3 years ago. Started helping out with the Houston Junior Arrows 2 years ago now, and this year they gave me the role of coach in chief, which gets to oversee all the age groups from 10 to 18, which is just quite interesting. I started my career back in the WHL, played 3 years for the Red Deer Rebels, and then made my way to the pro side, 6-7 years in North America, and then just shy of a decade over in Europe and a handful of different countries, and then got an opportunity to come home and start a coach. So I took that, and then the wife's job brought me down here to Texas. That's about it. So
Awesome.
Again, I'm excited to get this, from talking to all you guys and how, the smaller market groups don't really get eyes on as much. And now we're trying to put a team of all those smaller markets to showcase them. I think that's such a great idea to help promote hockey throughout Texas.
Such?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Similar story to these guys. I'm Canadian as well, from Red Deer, Alberta. I think I might have watched Smitty play a little bit back in the day, but I went to the BCHL like Mike and Adam did, and ended up playing college hockey at Minnesota State, Mankato, and then traveled the old Iron Bus leagues and the Central Hockey League down here to Amarillo in the panhandle of Texas. Most people don't realize when I tell them that we're 6 hours away from Dallas, they don't understand the distance in Texas and the commitment that these families make to play hockey. Just kind of circling back to what Adam and Jeff said, this Team Texas to me is intriguing because it gives kids the opportunities to play with one another. And these smaller markets like Amarillo, we have some talented kids, and for them to be able to play for the Dallas Stars elite team, throughout the winter is a very, very difficult task, being, like I said, we're 6 hours away. So it gives these kids the ability to develop and play at their level, but also stay home and be geographically and economically friendly to each family. So we're super excited about it and really can't wait to get started and see where this thing goes.
Awesome. Donnie Margetti.
Hey guys, Donnie Margetti, similar from Canada, like y'all, and I grew up playing hockey in Niagara Falls, Canada. Left home at an early age, 16, played in the OHL for London, and then after that just came to the States. I played, against Sutsy and Adam, and, in the CHL, and back in the day in the WPHL when the hockey came here in Texas. It would praise the atmosphere. Stayed here for over 20 years. The hospitality here in Texas, I'm similar to Austin. We're 5 hours away from Dallas, and I've been making this trip for 20 years, coaching teams, and ever since I retired. And there's just so much commitment and love for the game here in these rural areas. And I think Dallas and the Metroplex has really welcomed us well over the last 20 years. And we built relationships. And I think Team Texas, it's just another avenue. I mean, Team Texas, it's in the spring, it's in the summer. There's just so much opportunity in all sports now to play the game year round. And I think by giving our kids the opportunity just to build a relationship and to get coached by different people is just, just going to be another opportunity for kids to have. And so I'm excited to be the first part of it.
Awesome. Thanks, Donnie. And I'm Mike Salekin. I'm kind of the leader of the DSTHD. The DSTHD is the Dallas Stars Travel Hockey Development. The DSTHD was created for this exact reason, to kind of bring people together, provide value to kids, provide options for parents that has some inclusiveness, that everyone's kind of included. If it's you're from a rural community, you're from a different side of DFW. We want to, put out programming that everyone has access to, and just a lot of value, and not only value to the kids, but we want to provide them development, but we also want to develop coaches. I know, just in talking to, Adam, Austin, Donnie and Jeff on this call, I'm just so excited to kind of collaborate with you guys, what you guys do with your organization, so we can bring it back to DFW and stuff like that. And, get to know some of your kids and kind of showcase some of the DFW kids as well with your kids. And, at the end of the day, we compete, right? We compete if it's, Austin versus, the Texas Heat. But at the end of the day, all these kids are so similar, and we're kind of all here for the same reasons, to develop, to push ourselves, to have fun. So, with that said, that's kind of what Team Texas is. It's a collaboration. So I just want to kind of open it up. Like, what are the type of questions that you think, your communities are having or about Team Texas, and how do you think we can help them out here?
Well, I guess I can go first since I went first last time. I think the biggest one is, I actually had a mom call me today, and her main question was, are they trying to put the best players on one, how are they doing that? And I told her it really was a cool opportunity for, like Jeff brought up, and Austin and Donnie, being able to get these players, again, that maybe don't have an opportunity to play for DSC on the ice together and learning from each other. And yeah, they compete all season long, but now they have an opportunity to play at a high level, top to bottom. It's, you look at our local, depth charts. We just don't always have that, right? So you have an opportunity to have, 15 to 18 players on the same ice that are, like skill level and a high skill level. I think it's a great opportunity, and meeting people from all over the state that you play against. I mean, that's the best part of hockey is who you meet along the way, and learning that, when me and Donnie were playing against each other in Austin, like, we tie our skates the same way, and, we all had pasta and take a nap before the game, right? So I think it's a cool opportunity to bring people together. I think it's kind of been missing, right? Like, unfortunately, maybe it's been missing a little bit amongst all of us, is just having this unity. And I think it's a really cool opportunity. I'm glad you guys are doing this.
Yeah, I think one of the things is the questions that I've been receiving here is, like, who's identifying the players and placing them? How are we identifying players? I think it's, I think the answer to that, and I'd like to hear what you guys would have to say, but obviously with technology in each rink with Live Barn, and then, I think there's opportunity to go on. I don't think we put too much into statistics. I know a lot of parents get kind of overwhelmed with the statistics and things like that, and goals and assists. It's really what it comes down to for me personally with the team I'm coaching is effort and attitude, and quite honestly, the parents. If the parents are on board and they're looking for a good experience and want to have fun and have their son or daughter be a part of something great, then I think that's the candidate we're looking for. And then obviously a collaboration of all of us in each market, and playing in Dallas and traveling throughout the Dallas Stars Travel Hockey League. And I think when we put our heads together, we're going to come up with the right group of kids and parents, and put a really good product together to bring to Chicago and to Boston.
I think Austin made a good point is you want, it's not so much, you might be the leading scorer, but we want good families. We want kids that come, that want to be there, that are excited to be there, and parents that are excited to be there as well, right? We don't want any bad apples kind of to spoil the bunch for the rest of these kids. So I know talking with Donnie, usually the first question or the second question is, is he a good kid? How's mom and dad? Are they good people? So, bringing good people into the organization or Team Texas team, that's only going to make it better from the inside out.
Yeah. And also, I mean, there's so many applicants, and are we going to get to everybody? Yes, but not everybody's going to have that chance this year. But if we can continue to grow this game, and, there's so many tournaments that have different levels, A, B, we have a double A, triple A. So, I mean, yes, we're going to miss some families. I mean, we're only taking 3 lines, 60, 2 goalies at this time. And I know we're doing a lot of work on the outside, just like recruiting all these kids and just making sure that we do have the proper families. And there's going to be some that get left out maybe the first year. It doesn't mean that we don't want you. I mean, at this time, we're just building 2 teams, and that's a big, big commitment all the way through. And when you get all these communities like together and they're spending hours a day on the phone with parents, like I probably spend 35 to 40 minutes per family on the phone right now. And I've never met some of these families, but so with the 2009 group, I know, for example, I mean, I'm trying to get kids that I've seen in the past. I've been with this group since they've been 5 years old, and so I have a pretty good idea. But there's some coaches that I do call on these kids, and so hopefully we get everybody at least contacted or emailed by the next 2 weeks, and that's our goal for my group. I know that we do have full-time jobs, and so time is definitely ticking. But we'll get it all done here the next month or so, or the next 3 weeks.
Donnie, that's actually a really good point. I think most people are wondering just the timeline. So just to kind of clear that up just a little bit, we have different coaches working in different divisions, and I think everyone has a little bit of a different schedule, and we want to make sure we're fair to all the communities. So let's just say if, Coach Jeff is doing the 2009, he might not see every 2009. He might be waiting for that one weekend to see a certain team. So it does take a little time. I think my goal with the program is to have everyone communicated to by December 5th. I know some invitations are kind of trickling out now. If you haven't got one and your buddy has gotten one, I don't think anyone's worried. You shouldn't be worried about it. If you have to contact one of the coaches or you want to, feel free to reach out to any one of us. But it will take time, but we will absolutely communicate to every single person that has applied. And if, you're interested and you want to reach out to a coach right now, feel free to. All our contacts on the website. We'll put the website up below this podcast here. Feel free to reach out to any one of us. With that said, I want to kind of get into just kind of little, a little bit different than just Team Texas, just community. I know, I think Adam started with it, but just how alike we are when, and how great it is to kind of work together and bring these kids together, because I think that's the definition of Team Texas. Is instead of we got one kid from Oklahoma going here, we got one kid from Odessa, we got one kid from DFW, and we're playing with kids from all over the country. Why not introduce them to each other that they play against all year? So, just wanted to do that for the community. I don't know if you guys have anything to add for that, but, it's definitely important to me.
Yeah, I'll start that one quick. I growing up as a young guy playing in Alberta, I grew up in Red Deer, which is centered between Edmonton and Calgary. And obviously with Metroplex areas, you have more population and more players and better players. And, growing up, we never had the chance to play with some of the top players in the province. And in the spring and the summer was our chance to do that. And those are the memories I have. Honestly, I loved winter hockey. I loved representing the team in Red Deer. But when we combined with Edmonton and Calgary and put an elite team on the ice to go to the Super Series tournaments, I look back now, those are the best times of my life. And honestly, some of the best relationships I had. And really, if you boil it down, some of the best coaching I had as well. And you could be a first line player in Odessa, and then maybe you have to learn how to be a third or fourth line player on Team Texas. And I think that's a valuable skill. Something interesting I was reading the other day, and they're talking about building this whole world hockey, bringing it back to the Olympics or whatever that's going to be. And there's an interesting article on Erik Karlsson there on Team Sweden on how they might not select him this year because he's too much of a riverboat gambler going up and down the ice. I just thought that was interesting. And put it into perspective on different roles and accepting those roles. But circle back to community, Mike. It's a big state, probably, other than maybe Alaska. I'm not a geography guy, but to get these kids together in a locker room, right, and put them under the same uniform, and I think it's going to go a long ways in building the game and growing the game here in Texas. And we've had a lot of great players come out of our state, and I think this is a way to identify others and bring them together in a positive way.
Yeah, you said actually something really great, just the exposure and the relationships, right? So if, let's just say my son comes and, gets to know you and your son, all of a sudden Austin Sutter, he runs a North American Hockey League team. What does that mean? What is North American Hockey League? And, all that kind of insight that we can give these kids if we take a little bit from Adam, a little bit from Jeff, a little bit from Donnie, a little bit from Craig, whoever it is, and kind of give it to these kids. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited for those relationships. And I'll tell you, for one, like, I've coached against Donnie a little bit. And when Donnie gets he has this really good looking pants that he always has on there. They might be a little tight, but he's always on the boards yelling at his players. He's a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. But when you get to know him off the ice with Team Texas, it's just a great relationship. And you feel like, we're better connected as leaders of our community. So, if I need something from Adam, I can call Adam Powell about Austin. And I think that's important too, is not only for the kids, but for us as leaders of our community to be connected and to get to know each other and learn about coaching and learn about, what can we learn and what can we bring back to our organizations.
And you talk about, that camaraderie, like, we didn't have this conversation scripted. And I think everyone on this conversation's talked about, I'd rather, you got to have a good family, right? You got to have a good dynamic. We want a good family. And, you get to the upper levels, junior hockey, college, those are what recruiters, I'm sure Austin knows, you want a good family. Like, you want to make sure that, it's a pleasant experience, because that's so important these days. And it's crazy just to hear Jeff and Donnie and Austin, even you say that, Mike, because we preach the same thing here. And I talk to North American League coaches or Division I coaches and USHL coaches. They're all saying the same thing. They're asking how your grades are, how your family dynamic is, how are you at hockey? It's amazing that it comes third now. And that's across the board. And I'm sure Sutter can nail that, dealing with the big boys up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna jump in and then kind of hand it off to Donnie and Suts, because I know you guys got, both junior teams in your town, and you guys are a part of them. And just talk about, you said something about, a lot of parents, what they're saying right now is, we got to focus on next year, who's going to be coaching our kid, exposure. And, I'm looking at, 4 guys on this podcast right now thinking, like, what is better exposure, for, even if you're a 2007, you're a 2008, you're a 2010, what is better exposure than, the exposure, Adam Powell has had and all his friends around coaching different areas of the country. I think you guys have a North American 3 team down there. You got Austin Sutter that runs one and owns one. You got Donnie that's involved in Odessa. We all know hundreds of people across the country. And, by getting involved and getting you guys to know all the kids, I think that's powerful.
Yeah, for sure. Like Odessa, just for an example, we put a lot of kids in, like club hockey and A3. We got a couple really good kids coming up in the program. And, I think in each age, you're going to develop, I think like Team Texas, this gives you an opportunity to play the game at a higher level, less time and space to learn things. You might be the best player, like Austin said, on the team. And then all of a sudden, now you're playing 2 or 3 levels up. And you got to adjust. But if we don't give these kids that opportunity, they're going to show up to a junior camp at 17 and be like turning their head. And so I think it's a really good opportunity for these kids to get this exposure and to get the coaching. But I know that, like, relationships, that's huge. Relationships, I can call you guys all the time. Hey, I have a player right now, good attitude, good kid. We're going to promote our own kids in our own program. And this is just another avenue that we can use. And I think like building the relationships is just like having a successful business. You got to have good relationships. And so sometimes it's who that just gets you that first opportunity. You got to take it from there. But guess what? We might be able to get you in the door, right? So, I think that's huge for all these Texas kids in Oklahoma.
Just to follow up on some of that, from our perspective in Amarillo with the North American League team, obviously I think now we're at like 60 something kids in our first 3.5 years. We moved on to D1 and D3 colleges. And to me, people ask like, what's your biggest regret when you played or whatever? And I think for me, it's like slowing it down and enjoying the process, and not being in this huge rush of where I'm going to play next year, or who do I need to go to, or what academy, or what team is going to recruit me, or who's watching in the stands tonight. And when we have our 18, 19, and 20-year-old guys on our junior A team, a lot of that anxiety and stuff that they deal with day to day all comes from that is how fast can I get there? Who's watching me play? And what we try and remind them here is enjoy it. Like, you're playing junior hockey in Amarillo in front of 3,000 fans, and like, those years go by fast. And I think even when you're 10U, 12U, 14U, it's always what's bigger, what's better, where the grass is greener. And really it's slow it down and enjoy what you have today, because before you know it, you're done playing, right? And I think kids need to realize that, and then they need to organize their life around it. Like Adam said, if that's your goal and your dream is to play college hockey, well, not everybody's going to play in the NHL or play Division I or whatever. And I think if you can get the life experiences through the game, you get to travel to Chicago or Boston, you get to meet new people, you get to have these relationships that a word keeps coming up, then you're winning, right? Ultimately, then you're having success as a young player. And whether you go on to do great things or you don't, or whatever that perspective is, or your opinion is of that, you got to organize your life around it. So your grades, the way you conduct yourself, your community service, and then your work habits on and off the ice. So I think all that comes together. And I think we're in this culture now in hockey and in all sports of moving on and getting to where we want to go as fast as we can. And we're forgetting to slow it down. So I know when I coach the 2012 team, that's going to be our message. It's going to be, let's enjoy this weekend. Let's enjoy the training. Let's enjoy the games. And let's get better from the lessons that it's teaching us.
That's a great point, Austin.
Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Donnie, you're kind of being a little bit quiet today.
I'm just listening. I'm getting some information, learning every day like you guys are. I mean, I love to talk, but at the same time, I'm a good listener. No, I just think you guys have done a great job. And I say you guys, I mean, I know everybody's like well connected, but we got a really good coaching staff all the way through from the 8U all the way to, 17, 18U. And, you got passionate people that care about your son or daughter. Obviously, like in this circumstance, it's your son, but just to have this opportunity given to you, and just enjoy the process. Just like Austin said, I mean, just enjoy your family time. I mean, there's times when you are traveling with your son. I mean, once they get 18 and they leave home, or 17, I mean, that could be your last road trip, right? I mean, I enjoy stopping at the same Subway every time I come to Dallas. It's 5 hours there, 5 hours back. Just real quickly, like this weekend, we have home games here in Odessa. I got to be in Dallas for Sunday morning. We have a high school game. So, I mean, we're making a quick trip here and back, but we stop at the same truck stop. I mean, we enjoy each other, put the music on. We just enjoy the process. And I think that's part of it. And just getting that time with your son on the road. I mean, just support your son. There's going to be times when there's going to be a lot of adversity in life, but this is going to be an overall great experience for all these players.
Absolutely. And we'll put the website up again where people can reach out to us if they have any questions, if they still want to be, if they're interested in applying still, or reaching out to a coach if a coach still has room. They can reach out to the individual coach or any one of us. But I think it's all great stuff. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I think, just the connection that we've kind of developed over just building Team Texas together. It wasn't a DSTHD thing. It wasn't a Mike Salekin thing. It was I think it was all of us, I think just getting together saying, hey, how do we start working together a little bit better to provide better value for our kids? And I think, what in talking to you over the last couple of months, it comes down to is, hey, if we all work together, we can provide, better development, better value, and better opportunities for everyone in Texas hockey. So I just really appreciate these leaders on this call and, all the other coaches and people involved with Team Texas that aren't here.